Recent reports from the ABC show that volunteering tourism is a fast-growing trend. The question young adults are asking is if it's better to pay up front and have everything organised, or are they just simply volunteering their vulnerability? Voices project manager Catherine O'Connor explains the benefits of volunteering for an NGO charity.
And then basically the fee that volunteers cover also covers everything in country. So all of the food, all of the accommodation, all of the in-country transport costs is all provided. There's also 24-hour support on our group programs. We have field staff who work with the volunteers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is crucial to ensuring that the programs are well run, well organised and well researched. If you were just a traveller or someone on your own, you wouldn't be able to just rock up into these communities uninvited. It's all pre-organised. And the community has requested the assistance of the volunteers, and they do a certain amount of preparation before the volunteers arrive. It's an honour and a positive benefit for the communities to work with voice volunteers as they go in with the right mindset and the right support to ensure that they can do the work they're required to do.
Tamara Greswich participated in both a paid and unpaid volunteer program. She paid around $5,000 to aid women in India and compares this to Nicaragua, where she volunteered her time and received free food and accommodation from the family she supported.
I first took a gap year when I finished high school. I was 18 and my mum and dad, they wanted me to go, but they didn't want me to go without being organised. I realised that I didn't want to pay such fees for something that I didn't think I was getting my value out of, but I wanted to help without having to sacrifice what I've worked really hard for in terms of salary and things like that. So when I went to Nicaragua to help some children there for a couple of weeks, I only paid minimal costs to cover my accommodation, food, things like that. They were a small community and they don't have any facilities to offer their program online or anything like that. You kind of find it once you're there, and I think that overall it's a more wholesome experience.
After participating in several volunteer programs, Mr. Collins tells us why he doesn't want to pay excessive amounts for donating his time and skills.
The situation in Guatemala, whilst I was there, there was an American PhD student who for her dissertation was investigating basically fund misappropriation within American-based NGOs, and the argument that she was constructing as she outlined it to us was that ARCAS had two sites, one in Guatemala, one in Mexico. In their American accounts it was declared that there was equal funding going to both. However, she had visited the Mexican site, which was plush, very new, all mod cons, plus they had quad bikes to run up and down the beach looking for turtles' eggs with. In Guatemala we had nothing. The facilities were run down, there were no sort of advanced equipment for us to use, and the charity directors had a private house down the beach that was blatantly being subsidised by the funds that were given by donors in America to go to Mexico and Guatemala jointly and were being misappropriated. In my view, I think the benefit of these big, organised, expensive companies is that they do allow people who are maybe in a less sort of travel orientated mode and are certainly perhaps going for a shorter period of time to access something which is very good that they wouldn't otherwise do. I think the downside and the potential for exploitation comes where the organisation doesn't make it very clear how much of the significant amount that you're donating goes to the people on the ground and how much of it is admin costs and profit.
Santa Sabina's College Director of Social Justice believes that a paid program enables security and comfort for students travelling alone and experiencing a gap year for their first time.
For young students who've just left school, and in some cases from fairly sheltered existences, it's probably gives everybody a bit of security to know that there is a program in place. And while at first I decried the idea of $8,000, I suppose in a way that's a creative way for people who are desperately poor to get some money to put their programs into action in South America or anywhere else. So I can see good and bad for both sorts of programs, but I'd recommend that young students either go in a group or go with a structured program the first time. Then when they get their legs, they can take themselves off by themselves, to wherever they want to go.
You're watching UTS News. I'm Laura Morelli.